It's this tiny little secret in the middle of the Meadowell that I'd never heard about before I came. There's a huge focus on connection, and that is between the staff and the participants, the volunteers and the participants, and between the participants themselves.
I think it's because it had helped me so much to come here that you just want it to continue, and you want it to still be here, and you want it to be as good as it can be.
That, like, hand on heart, I honestly don't think there's anywhere better, like, in the Northeast.
NT life to me is unique.
Imagine you are the one of the 1 in 4 adults in North Tyneside living with poor mental health. You may be off work, out of work, isolated, feeling hopeless and alone. How do you improve your situation? Find a place where you're treated as an equal and not a statistic, somewhere where there's no judgment, where compassion, support and real understanding comes from people with lived experience. If you are the 1 in 4, NT Life has a place for you.
Well, my mental health affects me because I've got borderline personality disorder, ongoing depression, anxiety, PTSD, and it can mean that I feel up and then down, up and then down. Life was quite hard because I would just feel constantly down, just loads of suicidal thoughts. I'd be arguing with everybody around me, no kind of self-control, would just have really, really low moods, would just not get up and do things, just really impossible. It's really even hard even looking back with how much I've changed.
If you're watching, you're wondering who NT Life are. Well, we're different. We're a place where we see strengths, not statistics, people, not diagnosis. NT Life is a peer-led mental health education support service. We help people better understand themselves whilst giving them the tools they need to grow with strength, purpose and potential.
But it did feel very strange. Obviously I hadn't gone out and met new people for a long time because I'd gone from being a carer for my mum, where I mixed with lots of old people with dementia, and then we had COVID, so lockdown hit, so I didn't mix with many people, and then coming out of COVID, that's when I'd ended up being way down in how I was feeling. So the idea of mixing people was quite an enormous step for me.
Now, you want to start looking around you with your eyes, and the aim of this is to move nice and slowly. It's not a race, so you want your eyes to be kind of going at snail pace. And looking around you, you want to clock 5 things that you can see. You might go for the 5 things that interest you the most, or the 5 things that make you...
I think it's because it had helped me so much to come here that you just want it to continue, and you want it to still be here, and you want it to be as good as it can be for everybody that comes through the door. And you're just hoping that you can maybe be a very small part in somebody else's journey to feel better.
Since beginning NT Life, I've just completely changed. Like, looking back, last Christmas I had a breakdown in the job centre, like completely just tears, just doing strange things, like on a treadmill to appointments, and now I make them all. I've got all the help that I need, and I'm loads more just positive and confident in making things now. It's crazy.
Our work so far has helped Jenna and Christine on their personal recovery journeys. In 2023, NT Life welcomed and supported over 2,800 attendances. We delivered 71 courses over a 40-week period, resulting in over 6,700 hours of student participation. This was achieved through the dedication of our staff team, 15 volunteers, 3 university student placements and 2 CNTW support workers. Diagnosed or undiagnosed, NT Life recognises the strengths within you.
Yeah, I absolutely get a huge sense of purpose through my role at NT Life. I think because we see the transformation in people's lives, like that is what is a huge motivator for me. And, you know, yes, I feel proud that I have a part in that journey, and, you know, I know that all the staff at NT Life and like help to like motivate and encourage and create a nurturing environment for people, but also to see people actually making that own change for themselves in their life is like hugely rewarding. And yeah, honestly, like particularly some of the volunteers that we have, like the journeys that they've been on during my time at NT Life has been like something that I will keep with me forever.
I think to grow stronger, there's a number of factors involved in that. I think with NT Life, I think we've got the enthusiasm, we've got the current staff and volunteers are brilliant. The participants are. So first of all, we need participants to come through the door. Secondly, we need enough volunteers to help us cope with it. But I think a massive barrier at the moment is not having enough funding to pay enough staff. The needs out there, that is not disputed, and anybody in services would tell you that, because they haven't got enough funding themselves for unfortunately, to help everybody who needs the help.
I think there's lots of things that makes NT Life different, and I think it's because we place a lot of value on like really taking the time with people. I think we all genuinely care, and I think it's like we've always got the time to listen to someone. And I appreciate in different services, like in some of the clinical services, they may be under different pressures from what we're under, but like that core is like really important to, I think, the benefit that people feel at NT Life.
Been stuck in the house on me, like, well, not on my own because I live with like my kids and stuff, but like not enough contact with people, I think. And yeah, just to help combat anxiety and stuff.
Has it helped?
Well, definitely, yeah, because it's like doing something like out of the norm.
We don't need the criteria of you've got borderline personality disorder or you've got whatever else the criteria. You haven't got to be self-harming, you haven't got to be suicidal, like actively suicidal and things like that. So, but anybody taking any of these skills into that everyday life, it can make their relationships better, can make their self-esteem better, their self-respect. They can get their goals met easier. They can just regulate those emotions so that we're not living in flight fight all the time. We're not living in just fear all the time or sadness all the time. There's so many coping mechanisms there that it's unreal.
Yeah, our volunteers are, you know, like the absolute backbone of NT Life. Like they all have brought all of our courses that we've got wouldn't be a course if it wasn't for the volunteers. They've given their time, their energy, that makes our courses so real, I think, and so relatable for people to take part in. You know, and I think especially for other participants that are coming through, like the sense of inspiration that they get from the volunteers, because they can really go, oh, you used to be like me not so long ago and you came here as a participant. To see the progress that they've made, I think is like, they're like huge role models for the participants, and it's probably what helps us keep getting more volunteers, because they'll see that it's doable, they can do it themselves.
Everyone at NT Life has contributed their time, effort or feedback into building the college you see today. I know because I was one of the first. Like Christine, Jenna and Alice, let me tell you my story. So my life before NT Life was very different to what it's like now. My mental health was really poor. I'd had to drop out of uni, I'd had to quit my job, I wasn't leaving the house. I was basically just living in a constant state of crisis. I think I came to NT Life and then I left and didn't come back for 6 months. And I think that was because one of the reasons was I wasn't in the right headspace. I had a lot of things going on outside of NT Life. And I just wasn't ready to start my recovery journey. Since joining NT Life as a member of staff, I've co-created art sessions, and you can see some of the beautiful art pieces that they do in those sessions. There's some amazing people in my art groups, and some of them are all like of different abilities. Some of them have been doing art for years, and it's a passion that they've managed to get back into after struggling with their mental health. And some people come along and it's the first time that they've ever picked up a paintbrush, but they all produce amazing stuff. And I think the main thing that I love hearing that they get out of it is just how it makes them feel. And it really inspires me to keep working on my mental health, because it's an ongoing journey. That when I have tough times, I just have to look at the participants at the college and know that I can get through it as well. And when I look back at that time, that was 6 months that I wasted because I came here, and all that stigma and that shame that I'd been holding, as soon as I walked through the door and realised that nobody here believed those things, that wall came down and I was able to start my recovery journey. And I wish that I had have not let that get in the way for those 6 months, and it did, but that's fine. But I would say just to give it a go. Then what's the worst that can happen?
If I could think about anything to say to the NT Life staff, it would be to say thank you for helping me out, and really just making life to life manageable. That's a huge thing, but I don't even have the words to say that, because how do you say thank you for something you can't make up? Like, it's just incredible.